with thrilling episodes like Stranger Danger, a more dangerous stranger. And seriously, how did these guys keep getting more dangerous?
We should really ask somebody their names sometime.
Does 26 seem right for 5d8? That would mean I rolled a 3 each time for my HP.
I think you rolled a 2 last time. I don't remember.
Okay, I was just doing the math because I've rolled 26 and I did the math and that's like 3.25 per hit die.
Just below average.
Okay, I was just checking.
I'm not sure, honestly.
You're honestly like right there with Jason. He was at like 26 at level 5 and 6.
Oh, Jason.
Well, I mean, I've got 41, but that's because of my con bonus.
Oh, yeah, he was just flat at the 26. He was happy to get past 19.
I remember that.
Oh, to be constantly in danger of school children grouping up and kicking him.
He can stream us on Twitch. Or does he want to hop into Discord? Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now. You can do that, or you can link him into Discord. That's fine. Um, I think so, because didn't I set you as an admin? Give me just a minute, guys. Yeah, I set you as an admin on all of them. Remember, because you needed to mess with music? Yeah, you're an admin. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's fine. Either way. Yeah. Who's breathing creepily?
It's the only way I breathe.
Nobody's even lit up. Creepily? Oh, it's me.
It's the only way I breathe.
Awkward.
Oh, it's me. I have a stuffed up nose. I'm sorry. Trying to get. Having issues with the thing. To move the mouse away from it. Alright, just tell me when you're ready, Jay. Alright, have our extension up to date. Stream's going. So, John, you're playing Bioshock. Other John, what are you playing right now?
I've been bouncing between a few games, but Ark, Smite, and Path of Exile.
Oh. I don't know any of those except I know you play Ark every now and then.
I love the idea of art so much, but it's got so much complexity. I always feel so confused.
I mean, definitely at the beginning, but once you get the handle of things, it's not bad.
What about you, Dylan? What are you playing right now? I mean, not
I'm
right
not
this
playing
second.
much.
Are you still
Just
DMing
kind of.
Vampire? Are you still running Vampire and Princess of the Apocalypse?
Yes. Right now, I'm on hold with Prince of the Apocalypse, but I am playing Vampire.
Cool.
And going to college to get more knowledge.
Very true.
This is very true.
John, I don't know if Switch is your only console, but Path of Exile is like Diablo but free.
I have a PS4. I just mostly use it to watch movies and stuff. I mean, it's in my room and everything. I could game on it. The Switch is just so convenient.
Absolutely.
Oh, Jeremy, one of his friends wanted to listen, so he's going to listen in. But he won't be playing. Just a heads up.
Fancy.
Welcome, welcome.
Greetings.
That's on.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Group.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all letting me sit in. Listen. Is it listening or am I looking for something to watch?
Listening, because unless you're watching on a Twitch, there's nothing to watch.
Ah.
But we'll do like
If
dice
I
rolls
go
and
to-
such in the dice roll channel.
So if I click on that Twitch, that'll send me to something else?
Yes, that's what we're streaming currently.
Yeah, that way you can have video, and you
It's
wouldn't
not
be in
too
Discord
different.
if you want to. Yeah, I mean, the same thing. Just get pictures.
WebEx meeting.
All
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And there's the Twitch. I just posted it in chat.
Thank you, Jay.
All right. Now I can hear you. I could hear you on both.
Ah. All right. Jay, you about ready? Jeremy?
Just give me 1 second. I have everything pulled up, I believe. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Why? Oh, okay. Oh, that's what I was hearing. Apparently, I paused the video on Twitch, and it was still giving sound.
Oh, I had it
So I
playing on
was hearing
Twitch, and I
echoes.
was hearing myself breathe, and I'm like, God, who's breathing so creepy? Oh, it's me.
Well, I thought you asked me a second time. You're like, Jeremy, you ready? I was like, yeah, just give me a sec. Jeremy, you ready? What? Yeah, just give me a second, please.
All right. So you sound like you're almost ready, so I'm going to go ahead and do the recap.
Go ahead and recap.
Okay. So, a few nights ago, or days ago, I should say, as much as there is a day in this drab world, um, you had deviated from your path towards the Wizard of Wines and stumbled upon a building that had the name Argenvolsholt inscribed above the lintel of the door. Deciding not to go through in the main door like normal people, you went in through the destroyed side of the building, where you were quickly swarmed by a group of giant spiders. Things looked bleak as first Holland went down, then JR, then Val. Largo, knowing that they were coming for him next, threw off one quick heal at Val, bringing Val back up before running. And he ran and he ran, not looking behind him, all the way back to the village of Valaki, where he started cleaning up in the church, not sure where to go now. Meanwhile, the group had some visitors, and one by one they came back up. The spiders were frozen around them, those that still lived. But not for long. Here a mandible twitched, there a leg. They ran and decided to continue their quest towards the Wizard of Wines. They made their way there before they were descended upon by these hordes of plant-like creatures, vine and twig blights, that seemed to have taken over the winery. They cleared out the winery fairly quickly after a good night's rest, barricaded in one of the not destroyed rooms. And then they fought this druid, this man speaking in a tongue no one spoke. And he dropped this staff. You did not pick up... Sorry, I think my button's giving out. You did not pick up the staff, but no more of these creatures attacked. And as you made your way out of the winery, you were greeted by an old man who introduced himself as Davian Mardukov. Now, you recognize the name Mardukov because it was Erwin and Danica Mardukov who had sent you to the winery in the first place. Can y'all still hear me? My button's messing up.
Barely. Yeah, that last little bit was kind of chopped.
Okay, hold on. Okay. So you rested with the Mardukovs. Davian told you of the stone that protected the winery being stolen in passing, and then y'all rested in a tent for the night. And that's where we left off. Now I'm going to make some assumptions here just to get the story back on track. If I say anything that y'all don't agree with, just let me know. Just stop me and let me know, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. So, Largo, you are in front of the church trying to sweep some of the debris and soot away as you start to settle in for a long haul. You've been here 2 days, and it's about midday of the third day. From up the street, you see Brahm Mardukov, one of the children from the inn, from the Blue Water Inn, coming your way with a tray in his hand.
What you got there?
Mom sent me over. She said you probably don't have a lot of food here.
She would be correct.
She said said you have to eat. Won't do anybody any good if you don't eat. And he sets the tray down in front of you.
Well, it's appreciated. And I look down at the food, thinking of delicious meat pie, and thinking, this will do. And I start to eat.
Okay. It's a warm vegetable stew with some crusty warm bread, a little vat of butter. It's simple fare, but delicious. All right, just bring the dishes back to the inn when you're done.
Thank you.
Okay. And he takes off. Coming into town, you hear the sound of wagon wheels crunching over the stones. Looking up, you see a pretty strapping young man. Definitely not from in town. You've probably seen all the survivors since the attack a few nights ago. And this gentleman was definitely not among them. Sitting in the back of the wagon are several casks of wine. Stamped along their sides, you see burned into it, Wizard of Wines. But what draws your attention more is really the horns of a minotaur, the hood of your friend Holland, and a tree? No? No, that's Val.
I run over to Val.
So you three, as y'all are coming back into town, you've hitched a ride with the Mardikovs that are bringing the wine the wine shipment that y'all were originally sent out for back into town. As you are coming back into town, you've kind of been in a ditch, just kind of, on the road, being jostled in the back of a wagon. Not a very great wagon, not very great roads. You hear the sound of feet running towards you.
Hey, wait!
The guy driving the cart
Stop!
looks
I
over.
know that voice.
Oh?
Largo,
Where-
is that you?
Y'all are back. Y'all made it. Oh God, I thought y'all died.
Well, something happened to us.
Looking at Holland's face, Largo, you see this oozing sore on the side of his cheek. And as he starts to climb out of the cart, you see a few more of those on his hands.
Oh wow. I'm glad to see you guys.
JR just he kind of notices Largo see that, and he puts his hand up like he's like, shh, no, don't. Oh, no, he didn't. Okay, cool. So he kind of drops his hands again.
And as he does that, Largo, something about JR's hands look just strange.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, good to see you there, Largo.
It's great to see y'all. I thought I was alone again.
Val, what are you doing while this is going on?
Looking for some sort of tarp or covering that I could use as a cloak. Furiously.
There's not much in there. There's some hay between the barrels to keep them from jostling too hard. But that's about it.
What does Val typically wear? I'm sure you've said it before.
They wear some light, very patched robes. If I remember
Very,
correctly.
very true. Yep.
JR's going to reach into his bag and pull out a like just a small briefcase, and it'll have a disguise kit in there. Yeah, Vala, you you looking for something maybe to help out?
Yeah. Do you have a blanket? Do you have something?
Oh, I'm sure I've got some stuff in this here disguise kit.
Adrian, the oldest son of Davian, is looking back at you over the cart. He's stopped here in the middle of the street and he goes, "Are we unloading here or?" And just kind of leaves it open there.
Adrian was the son of
Davian?
Davian.
Hmm. He had 3 sons, if you remember. It was Adrian, Erwin, who runs the Blue Water Inn here in town, and then his youngest was Evan. Sorry, not Evan, Elvier.
Ah, no wonder. Okay, I was starting to write Evan over Elvier. I was like, how did I even get that name?
Sorry, I misremembered. Anyways, he's looking at you expectantly.
Um, since we had woken up, and just because we hadn't really gone over it, did we really get into asking Davian about the stone that was protecting the winery?
Well, let's roll back time a little bit. Y'all were pretty beat up and exhausted when you rolled into the Mardikov's makeshift camp and took a rest under the tent. As y'all woke up, you were offered a ride into Valaki with Adrian, Davian's oldest son, to make that wine shipment that Donica was looking for. Um, Davian had kind of mentioned the stone. It wasn't really a big thing to him, but you could have definitely asked him more about it.
Okay. Yeah, I remember we had kind of pushed the session a little bit, so we didn't really get to do a lot there. Could I have asked what it looked like?
It looks like a shining green pebble. Smooth, perfect for skipping rocks. But don't do that because it protects the vineyard. And look what happens when it's gone. Jay, I'm not hearing you. Are you talking?
No, sorry. I was just thinking of. Okay. I mean, like, if he doesn't know where it went, obviously it's gone. So.
He knows it was stolen, and then the druids came out of the forest to the south and attacked the vineyard. That's all he knows.
Okay.
Adrian goes, "So that's a yes?"
Voila.
I'm not sending the card, so
Say that again, Largo.
I'm sure this will be.
I said I'm not sitting in the cart, so
Okay.
I'm sure this could be fine. Wouldn't mind going over to the Blue Water Inn.
Okay. Without a word, he turns back towards the horses and snaps the reins. And they slowly begin making their way forward again. Largo, do you follow? Do you hop in?
well, I go get the dishes and then I'll start heading that way.
All right. It's not much further down the street until you reach the Blue Water. Most of the tents from the refugees are mostly gone now. There are still 2 or 3 still popped up. And you see Erwin on a ladder outside fixing the sign. He looks up as you approach, or looks your direction at least, and he goes, Adrian! And he begins to climb down the ladder. Oh, brother, it's been so long. I thought maybe something had happened. Adrian will pull the cart to stop and they'll start chatting.
Are there any vendors nearby?
Not in this area, but you know that the town square's not too far from here.
Well then, since we're gonna be here, I will be right back. And Val's just gonna start booking it, just solo mode, running full on to the town square, selling a short sword, buying a cloak.
Okay, it's not too far from here, just to the south a bit, down an alleyway and then out into the open. Down this way, you do remember you had gone to that armory, the Cracked Anvil, and they were buying weapons and selling weapons as well.
Yes, indeed. They were interested in the first short sword, so they should be in the second. Maybe.
One moment while I get that shop up. One thing that strikes you, Val, as you're coming back into this town square is the bodies that are putrefying from the gallows. Um, Thick and swollen. Birds have been at them, but they're still hanging there. Um, Secondly, is the removal of all the flyers that had been there before, saying all is well, attendance is mandatory to these festivals. In place of them is a picture of a man, gaunt-faced, um, and above his face it says, Strahd is watching.
Oh, geez, that's not good. Oh, where's that shop? Where's that shop?
So you make your way to the cracked anvil. And it's the same man and woman who were attending it last time. They look up as you enter, and the woman kind of frowns. Doesn't seem like she thinks you're going to spend any money. But the man goes, Oh, welcome back. What can I do for you, neighbor?
Oh, yeah. Just thought you might be able to use another short sword, you know?
Oh, of course, I can always do with more material. He wipes the sweat from his brow and he goes, "Just a moment, friend." He cleans up his hands in a water barrel nearby and reaches and goes, he picks up the sword from you and goes, "May I?"
Please do.
He looks it up and down, twists it, gives it a couple of swings, looks down the haft. Yes, yes. This one's a good one as well. 10 gold is fair.
More than fair. That would be spectacular. I appreciate you.
Of course, of course. The woman is full now, full on frowning at you now, as she sees him pass the gold into your hand. Something wrong with your skin? She pipes up
Yeah,
after a bit.
yeah. That's a condition. I don't really like talking about it. That's why I'm trying to get a cloak. It's kind of embarrassing, especially when pointed out.
Well, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but you didn't look like that last time you were in here.
Yeah, very aware of that.
She kind of sighs, gets up, and she goes, "I got an extra cloak. One of my boys used to wear it. I'll grab it for you."
Oh, well then let's just say 5 gold for the short sword and it'll be fair. It'll help you and it definitely helps me.
Oh, well, it's not like they're gonna be using it anymore. And she comes around with this big cloak and she puts it over your shoulders, and you're kind of dwarfed by it. And she ties it under your chin, very motherly, like, and goes, "No, no, keep the gold. Poor thing, you look like you need some meat on your bones.
Oh, please no.
Go get yourself some
But
supper."
I truly appreciate you. And Val will kind of like pull the cloak in close and then drop that 5 gold on the counter anyway and go, goodbye, then see ya. And rush out right back to the blue water.
All right, so you do. Meanwhile, Holland, JR, Largo, you've kind of been commandeered into helping unload the wine casks.
Fine with me.
Erwin is overjoyed not only to see his brother, but at their receiving the wine. And he's like, "I can't thank you enough. Anytime you need a room, we are open to you. You and your friends. Anytime."
Oh, mighty kind of you.
Thank you very much.
"No, no, thank you. You've really saved our hides here. Can't have a bar without wine, you know."
Very true. Hopefully, we'll be able to help you in the future if needed.
"Oh, I couldn't ask for more help. Y'all have been too gracious, too kind." And as y'all unload the last barrel, Red Dragon Crush, um, that's when Val comes scurrying back, dwarfed by this gigantic cloak.
Clara, glad you could join us.
Oh, yeah. Pulling the top of the hood down.
Oh shit, that's Val. Oh,
Yeah, looking over your compatriots, Largo, as you've spent more time with them, Holland has these sores all over him. From what you've seen, you don't get to see much of him, but his hands, his face, you've definitely seen these sores, and they just seem constantly oozing. JR, you're pretty sure he had less fingers than he did. And Val, his skin almost seems like bark.
Pulls cloak closer.
Purses my lips.
So things have changed.
Yeah, a few things have changed.
Things have been a little rough, you could say.
Hey, but y'all did the job, guys. I'm impressed.
Yeah, some evil druids and a bunch of angry tiny baby trees, and yeah, it was rough. Yeah, it was rough.
And
Out
right.
of character, Rebecca. That is the second time I have missed the winery.
Oh, I forgot about that last time. Ah, you're just destined
Wait,
to not go
you
there.
got there. Last time you had, I think, got inside. But
Yeah,
you were
we
only
we
there
had
for like
gotten
a few
to
minutes.
it, and then I had missed
Yeah.
the session or whatever, and
And then Tom
didn't
blew
get
up
to actually
the
explore it.
wines.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all never returned it,
Yeah.
to
I
be
almost
fair.
forgot.
Anyways. So, y'all have returned the
totally
wine this
forgot.
time.
Yep. At least we finished the job.
That's what I'm saying. I'm genuinely impressed.
Yeah, I feel a lot better about it now. We kind of left it hanging there for a bit.
All right, you kids get over here and eat something. Those who work eat. You see Danica in the door, and she's got another tray of food for Holland, JR, Val. Holland, you have finished the last of your pie on the trip over here, and this food does not seem to compare to that. But JR and Val, y'all have, well, at least JR, have worked up an appetite. I've got some fresh goat's milk and buttermilk over here if y'all are hungry. Thirsty.
I'll take the buttermilk.
She pours you a glass from
Oh
a
yeah.
sweating pitcher.
Thank you, ma'am.
No, thank you. She gives you a little hair tassel. You should get that looked at, she says as she walks away.
Oh, I will.
Jared will just kind of eat to his heart's content. Just being hungry, going through a lot lately.
Are you eating your feelings?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Val, you would be happy to know this is a veggie stew.
Oh, yes.
I just think it's funny the contrast. They're all depressed because of what they're going through, and Largo's just smiling and giddy that his friends are actually there.
Yeah, I can just imagine you sitting at the table just like, I'm just so happy. And they're all like, yeah, whatever. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Exactly.
Dead in the eyes.
They've seen some shit.
We really needed our healer back there. Big sip.
Val's like every now and again picking at their arm or something, and then catches themselves and pulls the cloak in tighter.
I tried to get a posse together to come back for you guys, but nobody would come with me.
I mean, as long as you've been taking care of the people here around town, that's what matters most.
I mean, I've done what I can.
As y'all are dredging up the last bits of soup with the rest of bread, the doorway darkens, and in walks Vasily. Oh, my friends, I'm glad to see you alive. When Largo came back by himself, I thought for sure the worst had happened. And he sits at the table with y'all.
I thought the same, but then I saw them coming in on this cart, and what a sight.
Truly a blessing from the Morning Lord.
Val, like, very subtly goes, "Oh, I'm not sure about that," and pulls the hood down lower.
How are you, my friends? It's been a few days since I saw you last.
Well, one or two of us have seen better days. We've been through a lot, but at the end of the day, what really matters is we're all still alive. We're all here, still together.
Truly, you speak wise words, JR.
Yeah, it has been a little rough.
Looks at Val. No. And he scoots his chair closer to Valadrius. And you, my friend?
Subtly scooching away. "Oh, yeah, I'm here. Could have been worse." Hood pulled lower.
I am pleased to see you unharmed. And then he straightens up and he goes, but might I ask of that errand I asked of you?
Which one was that?
The caravan?
Oh, yeah. Almost forgot about that. I think that was JR that picked up the box.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and take it out of my bag.
Oh. So they were attacked, I take it.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Yes.
The scene that we came across, it wasn't pretty.
Oh. What do you think it was?
Uh, I don't remember the details on the
I believe
that were.
I believe it was wolves or something.
Oh, okay, yeah, I think it was. I think it was wolves.
Very large wolves. But you tell Vasily this?
Yeah, I mean, Largo would have said something like similar to what I just said. I believe it was wolves or something.
Oh, I have heard there are wolves in the woods. He takes the box from JR. He goes, well, I think I have work to do. I thank you for your time. Were you able to recover the gold and the armor?
I have armor. I forgot about this. I don't remember the gold.
Well, he unties a pouch from his waist, from his belt. He goes, we'll take this with my blessing. And he sets it on the table. Thank you for your hard work and for bringing me what I needed. And he stands, says, I bid you good day. And
And a
leaves.
very good day to you.
Take care.
Safe travels.
See you around there, Vasily.
Inside the pouch, there will be 40 gold.
Wow, that's a good chunk of change.
As you look over the coins, it's not like the coins that you've seen before from your land, but each is stamped with the profile of a gaunt-faced man with long black hair.
And remind me, Rebecca, we have not seen the vestige of Strahd yet.
There was a person that claimed they were Strahd, but they looked like Valadrius. But you have seen this gaunt-faced man before. Once in a carving, in posters around town. Largo, Val, y'all would have both seen these posters. Hollow JR haven't.
Was there a name on the posters?
They said Strahd is watching.
This is Strahd.
Oh. And then JR remembers that he met the bride of Strahd. Yeah. Kind of. I kind of know about him. A little bit.
Well, I mean, I believe we all do.
You have all received that invitation. Though I don't think Val ever opened theirs.
We know bits and pieces.
It was kind of a one thing leads to another situation. I never got around to it.
So we gonna divvy up this gold, or?
Yeah, take what y'all need. I have more than I've had in years.
I'm good right now.
Largo's just staring. I had 1 gold when we started this. I have had nothing since.
That's right. That's right.
I remember you flipped that 1 gold and you're like, let's go.
That was it. I've been broke ever since. Just hope and a dream.
I went from none to 5 when I sold that short sword, and I was like, oh, wow. Life is so good. Now I'm at 11, and it's like, oh, geez. Fallen.
Oh God.
Y'all have been very free with what little gold y'all had.
Yep.
Well, there wasn't a whole lot I was going to do with 1 to begin with, so I was just like, F it. So basically, Largo's just looking at the bag, looking at JR, looking at the bag, looking at J.
You know, I think Largo should hold on to the coins for right now.
Yeah, I have plenty. I have more than I need.
I mean, if you want, if you're quite certain that's
No,
the
I mean,
smartest way.
you can take yours. I'm just hoping for a share.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's 40 gold, so 4 ways, it's 10 gold a person.
I have more than enough gold on me right now.
So Holland doesn't want theirs.
I've already got 11, so I'm pretty set.
So that's 20 each. Or 10 and 30.
I mean, you want to go 10 and 30 on it? No, I don't mind.
There's like skeletal hands like reaching out, shaking towards the bag.
That one hand that's skeletal. Like I can hold stuff.
Is there a looking around the room here at the Blue Water Inn?
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a like a like a behest board or a quest board or something like that sitting around?
None that you see.
So, what are you taking there, JR?
I'm good with 10, honestly. Really
And it
am.
disappears.
He squirrels that away quickly, leaving your 10.
I mean, that's fine. I still have a pretty good chunk of change.
Y'all can almost afford a shovel now. No.
A shovel.
Very true.
Well, we could go deliver the gift. You know, it's been a while. Not exactly what that timeline is on the birthday.
Y'all tried to do that, remember?
Oh.
Having a hard time remembering. Jog my memory?
Y'all went to the Vistani camp just outside the gates, and they told you, Luvash, the one you had been searching for, told you that his daughter, the intended recipient of the gift, has been missing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's where it didn't save my notes.
You were too mad to save.
Okay. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Shit. Um, where? God dang. I hate backtracking so much when I don't have my notes. But where was their niece last?
They weren't sure. One of the other Vistani was supposed to be watching her, and he was the one getting beat because he failed in his duty. Remember?
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Y'all were going to give him some time to recover. His name was. What was his name? Hold on. Alexei. And then y'all intended to follow up with him. Well, it's time for our first break. Let's take a 5-minute break and we'll be back at 7.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
right, is everybody ready? All right, is everybody ready?
I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeehaw!
Largo? We'll wait for Largo.
Oh, that's fine. I'm kind of tired from that Ring Fit game.
Yeah? You did push yourself pretty hard.
Like, it was so fun though.
Good, I'm glad you liked it.
He was probably trying to talk this whole time.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know if the voice thing's working very well.
He could have had a bad connection.
Are you back?
Give him a minute, he's having some trouble.
Okay.
All right.
There you are.
There he is.
All right, let's get back to it. Okay, so what were y'all deciding on?
Since we are in town, Largo, I think you had brought up that you wanted to put some more progress on the bones.
I was just throwing it out there.
Holland Val, y'all got any personal quests in town or?
I don't remember any that I have. But I think going and checking on the bones for St. Andrews is the best.
Oh yeah. Aside from bringing an old man some buttermilk, I've got nothing.
Huh?
Oh, it's nothing.
You sure are weird sometimes.
You're one to talk, Six Fingers.
How's that
Oh,
psychic damage?
trying to be the better person here, Val. You're not making this easy for me.
I'm sorry. That I shouldn't have said that. That was mean, and I apologize.
It's all right. I'll accept it. Largo, you did miss mine and Val's back and forth.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could see some definite bonding happening here.
Oh my god, it was like an entire session of puns.
If you watch nothing else, just check out what was it, the last session?
I think so.
Or no, session before, and it was just me and Val for like I don't know, at least 5 minutes.
Or like 5 hours of my life. Y'all did call a truce when y'all got attacked, but that's okay.
That was then. This is now.
Anywho,
All right. So the coffin maker. Let me see if I have his name saved somewhere. Have most likely been by Miliov, the grave digger.
Middlevillage was the one from the orphanage.
All right, and I think it was him that we were supposed to speak with.
Middlevillage?
So the guy that you murdered was the one that was supposed to get the bones for the coffin maker.
I thought the one that I murdered was the one that was he had the bones planted on him at the house.
No, he got the bones and he was supposed to leave them in a cart for the coffin maker, if I remember correctly.
So y'all just sitting around? What are y'all doing?
I believe we're trying to figure out where to go next with the bones of the saint.
As y'all are sitting around the table, racking your brains, you see Val Rictavio coming downstairs, a backpack slung across his back.
And Mr. Octavio is the uh, performer?
Yes.
Yeah, the one that saved us.
Maybe we should go say hi to him.
He was just a. Oh no, different guy. Different guy. Oops, mixing up names. I'm sorry, I'm
You're
Wobble.
thinking of Vasily.
Yeah, I'm an old man. I know.
This is the youngest, second youngest person in the group. All right, so you see him approach the counter and talk to Danica.
Val is gonna keep pulling that hood down. It's probably around like mouth height at this point because they just don't want to be seen by anyone.
At this point, it's probably down to your knees. Yeah, you basically look like a little
Just wearing it like a
triangle.
sheep ghost.
Yeah. At this point, nobody could tell who you are unless they were up in your face at this point.
Hence the reason Largo screamed whenever they walked up and talked, because it was like, oh shit, I didn't even know that was you.
You see him slide some coins to Danica, and then he starts walking out. He gives you a congenial nod at your table, a congenial nod as he walks past and out.
Yeah, Octavia.
He raises an eyebrow and looks over his shoulder.
Yeah, where you headed, buddy?
I'm leaving this town. It's no longer safe here.
Well, I fully agree with that.
Agents
Yeah.
of the devil have taken over this town, and I, for one, am not enamored of him.
Yeah, fairly certain he's taken over a lot of area. Probably more than just this town.
So where are you heading?
I have a tower, a secret base, basically. He gives you a little roguish wink. I think I will hole up there and see where else I can go. Reunite with one of my students, maybe.
Any advice for those of us that don't have a tower?
He looks you over, this inscrutable look on his face, and he goes, leave Barovia. And then he walks out.
I mean, that was always the plan. Well, that was unhelpful.
Very true.
Pretty great plan, though.
It's getting to the later part of the evening now, just before dusk.
Huh? Probably won't get much done today. It's almost nighttime.
I have to agree.
Yeah.
Last time we were out at night, I almost died.
Same here.
Technically did die.
Well, I also technically died.
Yeah, but that was in the daytime. It doesn't count.
Well, we'll get a head start in the morning on trying to recover those bones.
That sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan to me.
As you're clearing your table and stacking your dishes, a dusk elf walks in to the bar. And he looks over everyone. And he starts walking towards your table. You see he's well armored, a sword at his side. And he goes, "My lord has sent me to visit with you." He stands before you.
Largo kind of leans back. Psst. Do any of y'all know him?
JR stands up, slowly reaches behind his back, and grabs the neck of his lute. What up? Who you work for?
My master is Count Strahd von Zarovich. And you are his guests.
We were just talking about, making plans to come and see him, accepting that invitation he sent. Weren't we, guys?
Very true, very true. We were trying to fit it into our schedule.
Fit it into your schedule? You have already missed 2 dinners. My master's patience wears thin.
And we're absolutely torn up about it, but a lot of things have been happening. We're trying our best here.
I mean, we did come across a lot of people that have tried to kill us.
Oh, really? He doesn't sound impressed.
What's the fastest way to just get over to the castle from here?
My master has sent me with a carriage for your convenience.
Oh, yeah. How about that, Largo?
That sounds convenient.
That's you love to hear it.
It seems like we're going to make the dinner tonight.
Excellent. I will show you to the carriage. He turns on his booted heel and walks to the door and looks back at you expectantly.
Hey, what'd you say your name was?
I am called Rahadin.
Well, I guess we should follow him.
Largo turns around and faces the guys, and he's like, "I've been talking out of my ass. I'm not ready to see this guy. I don't want to fucking get on that carriage."
I'll lean in close to Largo and whisper, "I don't think we'll see the next morning if we don't."
I don't think we will.
Well, we have a better chance of seeing the next morning if we go.
My master has guaranteed your safe passage while you are in his castle for dinner. Rahadin mentions.
I turn it back around and face him. Oh, I wasn't worried about that at all. Let's go, man. And I start walking towards the door.
I'll follow right after Largo.
JR is just gonna exchange a glance at Val as Largo just kind of takes charge. It's like, huh. Never seen him act like that before.
Oh, jeez.
As you all file out one by one past Rahadin, you hear in your head screams. You get this symphony of screams of people. It sounds like people being struck down one by one. But as you make your way past him, it fades out.
As that would have been happening, everybody would have seen Holland just shake a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Val is Shake City. Looking for him. Maybe like second guessing before grabbing JR's, but still kind of grab.
You're like, oh yeah, I forgot about the extra finger.
I don't know about that.
Rahadin leads you out to a black carriage driven by dark horses with liquid eyes. On the side of the carriage is a crest. The one you saw stamped into the seal of the letters you've received. Val, yours is still unbroken. Please, have a seat. He opens the carriage door.
I'll go ahead and get in.
Me too.
Val will kind of do a little tappy foot, looking around before entering, like exhausting all possibilities, then and go.
As the last of you file. Sorry, go ahead.
Largo looks at him. He's like, 1 second. He walks over behind the carriage, and he's just.
Sorry, you cut out. He just starts what?
He just goes behind the carriage, and he's like, fuck, 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 fuck. And he comes back around. He's like, all right, yeah, let's go to this dinner, shall we? And he climbs it.
My lord awaits your presence eagerly. As you
Wait.
all sit in the carriage, you see silk wrapped, parchment wrapped parcels on the seat, and a small note sealed in crimson wax. Rahadin closes the door behind you, and you feel him climb into the driver's seat. The note on top of the parchment wrapped parcel reads, "A gift for your arrival. SVZ."
SVZ.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yep.
Does anybody open the parcel?
I'll shakily reach over for it. And I guess this is for us. Start opening it.
Inside, the parcel contains 4 black velvet-lined traveler's cloaks with silver trim, and 4
Man, he just bought you.
and 4 pairs of gloves of similar make.
I'll definitely pull one out and find one my size.
Strangely, you do find one that will accompany your extra fingers as far as gloves go, and the cloak fits perfectly.
If JR is starting to hand out cloaks, I'll put one on.
Yep.
He sees JR put the glove on and he's like, how did he know? How did he fucking know? How did he know?
As we've heard before, I believe he's watching us at all times.
He sees you when you're sleeping. No.
Yep.
I hate all of this.
So do I.
Val's gonna kind of compare cloak sizes and take whichever one is larger.
Is whatever?
Whichever one is larger.
Oh
More
yeah, the one
covering.
that doesn't fit you is definitely larger. Definitely not as nice as the others, the new ones though.
That's okay. I'm gonna take that one too, just not on me. Not worn.
Largo, there's a pair of gloves, one that will fit your skeletal hand better without needing for padding.
That's oh man. So we're doing this, right? We're dressing up. We're gonna play the game.
I believe so.
Eyes closed.
Okay. And Largo puts it on.
So you do. As you all, well, most of y'all put your gloves and cloaks on, the carriage is taken off, and it is about an hour later when you hear the sound of the dirt road change to that of cobblestones. Looking out the curtained windows, you see over a great bridge that hovers over a chasm down far, far below. A waterfall is nearby. And you're taken to the gates of this magnificent castle. We have arrived, you hear as the door opens again. Please, I will take you to get cleaned up before dinner.
Lead the way.
JR, go ahead and step out.
He takes you into this great entryway. Where you are quickly joined by a flamboyantly dressed man and a woman dressed in moldering wedding gown. Neither of who look familiar. Ah, look, Sasha, the man says. We have guests. Aren't you excited? The woman stares blankly ahead. The man approaches you, JR, and he goes, well, aren't you a tall slab of beef?
I think that's a bit racist.
As he smiles down at you, Largo, you see that his incisors end in sharp points.
We're protected.
In the entryway,
Oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, glad of you to notice. Aren't y'all just charming and wonderful, such wonderful people yourselves?
Flatterer. I'll have you know, flattery will get you everywhere. Come, come. Sasha and I are going to take you upstairs and get you cleaned up.
I'm gonna lean over to Val and say that was just not right.
Oh, none of this really is.
As y'all are kind of towards the back, you two, the guy looks back over at you and he goes, "Don't worry, I won't bite unless you ask me to."
No, please.
Oh, I wouldn't get your hopes up.
He frowns a little. Okay. My name is Escher. What's your name?
I don't feel comfortable giving you my name.
Largo Weatherby. It's a pleasure.
Oh, you are just adorable. I love it. Nice to meet you, Largo.
My name's Jr. Pleased to meet y'all.
And I am pleased to meet you.
I'm Val.
Hi, Val. And this, talkative, loquacious person here is Sasha. Don't expect much out of her. Sasha doesn't respond, but continues walking with you. Sasha and Escher, as he introduced himself, leads y'all upstairs to a guest room and lounge. Inside, you see a familiar face, JR. Ludmilla. She goes, "Oh, our guests have arrived. I didn't think you were ever going to come. I'm so sorry about what happened in Valaki. I've been disciplined." She casts her eyes downward.
It's yeah. So good to see you. And then like just Jr. If the color hasn't left Jr's face by now, it's definitely gone.
Well, go ahead and strip to your small clothes. What you're wearing is not appropriate for dinner, and I'll get that dirt and grime off of you.
You mean the cloak?
Well, that's okay, but she kind of looks you up and down. Everything underneath it is. She wrinkles her nose. Filthy. She licks her lips and she says, "And maybe blood soaked?"
I mean, it's part of his charm.
She looks over the rest of the group and she goes, "That was for all of you."
Oh, jeez. I like my small clothes. I'll just keep it all on.
You really don't think our Lord will allow you in front of him looking like that, do you? You blink and she's suddenly standing in front of you. "Come now, I won't touch you. I won't hurt you."
Oh, geez. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Oh, boy.
seeing this, JR will hand over his clothes.
Okay. She sets them aside.
Sure.
So
Whatever you want.
what's supposed to happen after dinner?
Then we'll be dancing, of course. You can't have dinner without a dance.
Oh yeah, of course. And then after that?
Then I expect you'll leave. I don't know. You'll have to ask my
Okay.
lord about that.
So he hasn't said anything about it, huh? Oh, okay. And I start taking off my clothes.
I'm sure he wanted you to be the first to know. And as she's standing next to JR, you see she's weaving her hands, and spots of dirt and grime are disappearing as she mumbles an incantation. Um, your fur, JR, is glistening at this point as she painstakingly removes every bit of grime, sweat, blood from you. And then she directs you to a chair where a set of fine clothing has been set aside for you. She says, Strahd himself has picked this out for you. After you've changed, go ahead and meet Escher in the lounge.
I most certainly will.
And then she moves on to Holland. Largo. And lastly, Val.
Whoa there. JR, can you give me a hand here?
JR's gone into the lounge.
Some? Oh, okay. Then Val would take out the spare cloak and be like, here, you just hold this.
I'm going to clean you up now. Unless, and she
Oh.
smiles maliciously, unless you'd like to struggle.
Oh gosh. And Val's just gonna put hands on eyes and just kind of let it be.
Oh well. And she starts cleaning you off, prestidigitation, the dirt and grime away. You all eventually changed into fine, if somewhat dated, clothing, and then led out to the lounge where Escher happily and chattily brushes your hair. And I told him I didn't even like steak, but he was like, but it's raw, and so on and so forth. Nothing of consequence is said. Shh. Nothing of consequence is said, but he mostly makes vampire puns and chats about inconsequential things.
And that's everybody's getting brushed, or?
Oh yeah, he's like, and oh, you have such pretty hair, and
As Largo's getting brushed, he's just ow, ow, ow.
oh,
'Cause
stop!
Largo's
It
got
does
kinda
not
like
even hurt.
wavy, curly hair, so I'm sure it's tangled as hell. Ow, ow.
Oh, you big baby. Well, maybe not big, but you're definitely a baby. And
Is that a
then
size joke?
it certainly was. I can do better. I know. After you are all fully dressed and suitable, you're summoned downstairs by Rahidin to enter the dining hall. There, the gaunt-faced man with long dark hair is waiting for you, playing a mournful melody on the pipe organ. When the song concludes, he turns and greets you. Largo, J.R., Holland, Valadris. Thank you for accepting my dinner invitation. Please,
Oh no,
have a
thank
seat.
you for having us. This is a pleasure. I've never felt so clean and well dressed in my life.
I am overjoyed to hear such. How are you? How's your health?
It's been better, but I'm still kicking.
Oh,
How did you know our names?
I am the
He knows
ruler.
our sizes. We're worried about our names.
Please have a seat. This
Val
table.
is doing their best to never think about themselves naked.
Okay. Okay. So the table is laden with fruits and meats and breads and cheeses. Not too much unlike what you saw in the old crazy man's mansion. Val?
Well, guys, what's on the table? I can barely see.
You've got Escher passes you some pillows, Largo. He goes, "Here, a booster seat."
Rude, but thank you.
Of course. How was your journey? Strahd asks as he lifts a glass with a dark red wine.
Which one? Because we've been on a few since we've been here.
The journey to my home, Ravenloft, and he gestures broadly to the stones around him.
Somewhat quiet.
Brief, which is saying something since most of our journeys have been long and hard.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Safe.
Well, that is good, at least. You see Escher and Sasha bringing in trays of wine glasses, bottles of Red Dragon Crush wine. You're served small drinks and small refreshments. Um, and you also see trays floating by themselves. In this room, 3 enormous crystal chandeliers brilliantly illuminate this magnificent chamber. Pillars of stone stand against dull white marble walls supporting the ceiling. You're seated at a long, heavy table that's covered with a fine white satin cloth. It's laden with many delectable foods. Roasted beef basted in a savory sauce, roots and herbs of every taste, sweet fruits and vegetables. Places are set for each of you with fine, delicate china and silver. At each place is a crystal goblet filled with an amber liquid of the delicate, tantalizing fragrance. Um, Escher comes and puts a napkin in each of your laps, um, lingering over JR. And he goes, "You know, my room is just upstairs."
Well, I appreciate you letting me know in case need assistance.
He laughs and he says, "Maybe after dinner." And then he takes his own seat, sitting very primly.
JR kind of chokes on some wine.
Sasha sits quietly, staring at her plate, and in files 3 more women. Ludmilla, you've seen, and 2 other women. Uh, and they sit, and not before bowing to Strahd. He motions to each of them. He goes, "My wives, Ludmilla, Anastasia, and Volenta." So, as he invites you to start dining, he ask you questions. So, where were you living before you were brought to Barovia?
JR takes a big bite of food and looks at everybody else.
He gives you that look like, can't talk, too much food in my mouth.
I just kind of, on the road here and there.
But it must have been hard for you.
Oh, it had its time, you know. Oh, yeah.
I gotta be honest, I cannot even remember right now. It was somewhere big, like Waterdeep, Neverwinter, something like that.
A place that had much more sunlight than here.
Interesting, intriguing. What is it you do for a living?
Fight,
Fight who?
adventure.
Or what?
I meander. Just kind of wander around.
So you're a
It
vagabond.
depends.
Well, I mean, when you say that, it kind of sounds less mystical and fun and more trashy.
Oh, I apologize. Is this not accurate?
You get a sharp look from JR.
Well, I mean, I guess, kinda.
I mean no insult by it. Just curious. And you, Largo. I understand you worship
Huh.
nature or some such. Tell me, what drew
What?
you to
No,
it?
no, no. Drew me to what?
Well, tell me what it is you do. I'm interested.
Oh, I care for the dead.
Ah, a noble profession. Do you help usher their spirits into the afterlife?
No, it's more of the physical, like making sure their remains are respected.
Ah, so it would not do to have the remains desecrated. I
No,
understand
I
that.
feel like people deserve better than that.
Yes. Well, perhaps I will show you our crypts one time. I think you would enjoy it.
I might. Takes a big gulp of wine or whatever I've got.
Yeah, yeah. JR is still like stuffing his face, like at just the right moment when Strahd's eyes might kind of glance over to JR.
um, those of you partaking, you notice that this food is delicious and flavorful. Most everything in this, since you've come to Barovia, has been bland and more like shadows of what it should be, with the exception of Granny's pies. But this food is bursting with flavor. It's like you had lost your sense of taste or your sense of smell, and you've now gotten it back, is what it feels like. About. Sorry.
I was gonna say, quite delicious.
Thank you. Only the best for my guests. About halfway through the meal, Usher informs you that they've run out of wine and asked if one of you would be able to help him in bringing up a fresh barrel. He claims it's too heavy for me to carry up alone.
Largo puts his finger on his nose.
Holland follows with that finger
Val
on the
looks
nose.
between them, really curious, and then like a sudden epiphany, finger straight to the nose.
Jr.
Oh, look at JR.
Jr. would be like stuffing his face because like he thought that like, oh, somebody was gonna jump up, and certainly he doesn't want to say anything. And then he looks around. That's all you hear.
Looks like it's you
Like
and
a
me,
little-
big boy.
The tiniest tear forms.
And immediately melts into his fur.
This was which person talking to me?
Escher?
Oh, that's so much worse.
Largo does like a fake prayer for you.
He's like,
Jr. will nod in appreciation.
Val will shift around in their seat and pointedly not look at you and feel really horrible.
I grab the largest amount of food I can and just start stuffing my face.
all right,
Mine
big boy,
reminds
come
me of
with
a
me. I could use those muscles of
song
yours.
Reminds me of a song I've been writing. As he's walking away, you can hear him mumble, "Oh, this is the end. Oh boy, this is the end." And gone.
Okay. He leads you to a small tower to the south. He says, down this way. And he leads you over this noticeable divot in the stone floor, which he walks right over. And as you pass by the kitchen where the smells are coming from, you look inside and you see a dead Barovian, a young man, hung upside down from the ceiling, their blood slowly draining into a large basin below. Escher notices your glance and shrugs. Says, you didn't forget you were having dinner with monsters, did you? He flashes a faint smile and continues onwards past the kitchen. Oh, here
Oh,
it is.
this is so wonderful. Everything is so nice here. Just trying not to think about the body.
Largo, you feel something slipped into your lap.
And I look down.
It's a small note rolled up. Seems to have come from Sasha. She's refilling your wine.
I'll try to read it.
Unfurling it underneath the table, you see it reads, not everyone here is an enemy.
Thank you so much for the refill. And he reaches for the wine glass and.
She nods. JR, you bring the wine back up with Escher. Him mostly letting you carry it. He's like, Oh, you're so strong. I just can't match your strength. Tell me, what brought you here? To me.
Oh, you know, I guess in a roundabout way. Uh, my parents were vagabonds, and honestly, I was just trying to get away from that lifestyle for a little while. But yeah. Long story short, here I am. Um, not trapped, but like
Oh
maybe
no,
trapped
you're
inside my mind.
probably
But not
trapped.
like
It's
it.
okay. You can say it. It sucks.
Huh. Hey, do y'all have plans to kill us?
No, of course not. I mean, are you into that?
No, 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 no.
And that's you're nooping all the way back into the dining room. You finish up dinner, the food being delicious and the wine um, equally as satisfying. Um, and then Strahd removes the napkin from his lap and places it on the table, and he goes, "Well, how about a tour of the castle?"
And then dancing, right?
He looks over at his wives and he goes, "Ludmilla, did you spoil my surprise?" She looks down into her lap. "I'm sorry, my lord."
Val's like, GR.
I'll hesitantly accept his offer to tour the castle.
Yeah, that would be nice. Walk off all this food.
My thoughts exactly. He leads you out into a hallway where the torchlight flutters against the walls of this vaulted hall. To the east, an arched hallway stretches for 20 feet, ending at a spiral staircase that goes up and down. Next to the hallway, a suit of armor, oiled and glistening, stands at attention in a shallow alcove. To the west, large double doors hang slightly open, and a steady bright light skips through the opening. That is where you came from. And then he leads you into the great entry hall. This is where you came in. Cobwebs stretch between the columns that support the vaulted ceiling of a great dusty hall, dimly lit by sputtering torches and iron sconces. The torches cast odd shadows across the face of 8 stone gargoyles squatting motionless on the rim of the domed ceiling. Cracked and faded ceiling frescoes are covered by decay. Let's see, where am I? To the north, a wide staircase climbs into darkness. A lit hallway to the south is where you came from. Canteen.
Oh, this worries me that we're going to this castle. We have no idea where we're going.
Obviously, I could do some better cleaning in here. I will have to perhaps get some more servants. He then leads you through some bronze double doors to the east. This grand hall is choked with dust and stretches into darkness ahead. Webs hang from the arched ceiling like drapes, and life-size statues of knights line the hallway on both sides, their eyes seeming to watch you. As he leads you through this hallway, he tells you, um, Good help is so hard to find these days. Come, I think you will enjoy this next rental. He leads you into this dim uh, area where colored light filters through tall, broken, and boarded up windows of stained glass, illuminating the ancient chapel of Ravenloft. A few bats flutter near the top of the 90-foot-high domed ceiling. A balcony runs the length of the west wall, 50 feet above the floor. In the center of the balcony, two dark shapes are slumped in tall chairs. Benches coated with centuries of dust lie about the floor in jumbled disarray. Beyond this debris, lit by a piercing shaft of light, an altar stands upon a stone platform. The sides of the altar are carved with bas-reliefs of angelic figures intertwined with grapevines. The light from above falls directly on a silver statuette. The cloaked figure is draped over the altar, and a black mace lies on the floor near its feet. Oh, don't mind the corpses. They've been here for a while. I see no reason to move them. I've had many famous guests here. The famous toy maker, Piddlewick, once graced these halls. You can see here in the stonework the work of major architect Kazan. And this chapel was used to pray to the Morning Lord and Mother Night. But come, I will lead you this way. He leads you up a staircase made of old wood. Obviously, it's been here for centuries. You hear slight creaking, and he goes, I really must have that staircase fixed. And he leads you out into this large balcony. It's a sculpted stone railing encloses the balcony which overlooks the chapel. Two ornate thrones stand side by side in the center of the balcony, in the center of the balcony. The thrones face away from the double doors that give access to the balcony. He goes, these thrones were where my parents sat when we were attending church. I will show you the King's Hall next. It leads you into a 20-foot-high hallway with a dark vaulted ceiling. A low moan seems to travel the length of the corridor as it rises and falls, intoning sadness and despair. Strahd does not seem to notice the moan. He goes, oh, there's a draft.
Oh, hopefully it's not anything more.
Why would it be? Next up is the guard's post. Doors open to reveal another set of double doors 10 feet ahead. Between these doors, 10-foot wide corridor stretches north and south. At each end of the hall, floating in the darkness, is armor and livery of castle guards, empty but standing at attention. As you approach closer, you see that they're hanging from pegs. They're hanging from pegs to give them the illusion of floating. And lastly, he takes you to the audience hall. Dim light from the courtyard falls in this great hall through glass and iron latticework of a large window in the west wall. This immense room is a place of warmness and glowing light. Iron sconces dot the walls. Directly across one window stand a set of double doors into the east hall. Farther south, single door also leads from the east wall. Staircases at both ends of the north wall lead down. At the far southern end of the hall, a large wooden throne stands atop a marble dais. The high back throne faces south, away from most of the room.
This is what room again?
The audience hall. Jeremy and John will remember this as where an epic battle took place.
That may not have involved a T-Rex.
Possible. Who knows? Another lifetime. As he describes the lattice work, and he tells you about another famous architect, Artemis, that built this area. He tells you. And now, as my enthusiastic friend has mentioned, it is time to dance. Ludmilla, Anastasia, and Volenta come through the smaller door, as well as a number of instruments that seem to float and play of their own accord. Please, dance. And then he grabs Largo's hands and begins to dance with him. Meanwhile, Ludmilla grabs JR, Anastasia grabs Holland, and Volenta.
I will look for anything I can fill my hands with around. That is not a person.
Volenta will knock these things from your hands. There's not much in here, just rubble, really. And she goes, No, we must dance. She's small, not very intimidating, short black hair. And she goes, You wouldn't want to offend our host, would you?
Oh gosh.
Anastasia is dancing with Holland. And she tells you, Holland, Welcome to Ravenloft. What are your thoughts on it so far?
It has nice architecture. And then what I'm going,
Sorry, Holland, you cut out.
since I know I'm going to regret it if I don't, I'm going to actually dance with her.
All right. As you dance, she asks you what events have brought you into the events leading up to coming into Barovia.
Not much has happened really. I kind of got sucked through a doorway and now I'm here.
A doorway? Where was such a doorway? What did it look like?
I can't really remember. It's fuzzy.
It was a fuzzy doorway?
No, my memory around it is fuzzy. I can't remember.
Oh, you're so funny, Holland.
You're not too bad yourself.
Stop. I'm a married woman. JR, Ludmilla is dancing with you, and she is not the friendly person she was before. She's tight-lipped and seems very unhappy. But she dances.
JR will try and break up some of the tension. You you look pretty.
Her lips purse tighter. She doesn't seem interested in talking. Val. Valenta is just babbling. Did you know how much blood there is in a church mouse? And
Oh, I don't want to know. I'm sure it's Oh,
oh, yeah, you could get a whole bunch squeezed out of them. And she talks about. She almost seems childlike as she's talking to you, telling you about her hobbies, which are disturbing to say the least. Oh my gosh, I have to show you my artistic masterpiece. Would you like to see it?
is it a painting? Maybe a sculpture?
Nothing so bland as all that. And as she's talking to you, she's leading you out of the room,
Oh
despite your
no, no
protests.
thanks. You know, my friends kind of worry about me. I've got a skin issue and a lot of feelings, and none of them are good.
Well, I think you look marvelous. Come on, let's go. And her grip is surprisingly strong, and you're not able to fight it
Do I
off.
pass anyone on my way
No.
out? Do I pass any of you? Oh no.
She seems to have maneuvered you towards the door as y'all were dancing.
As we're kind of leaving, I'm like towards all of the friends over my shoulder.
And the music drowns it out.
JR's eyes just get real wide, like.
Largo, you are dancing with the Count himself. He is nothing if not polite and accommodates your smaller steps. Almost unnoticeably. He seems to be in sync with your dancing. And he says, "Tell me about your goals, Largo."
My goals?
Yes, I'd love to know more about them.
As far as
What they are, what you need to achieve them, what makes you you.
I'm really not that interesting. I'm a pretty normal dude. You know, run a graveyard. Um, I like making sure people are taken care of.
As do I, Largo. As do I. But surely you have a goal, something you strive towards.
I mean, we all have lots of goals, right? Like, what are we talking about? Like long term, short term?
Yes, let's say long term.
Long term. Well, I hadn't really thought that far, but I suppose just, get back home to my uh, lot.
JR, what are you doing?
I'm here.
I'm hearing a lot of background noise from you.
What?
Can you? Thank you. Okay, but surely there's more you want in life.
I mean, yeah.
So you
and kind of know. Like, I mean, that's ultimately who I am as a person.
he
I mean,
seemed
if you're asking like more specific, like why I'm here,
yes. Tell me about that.
well, it starts. It's kind of okay. So rewind 2 years, and we found a portal, I guess, to what we now know as Barovia, and I heard a voice tell me that I would find my dead family here, or at least the souls of them, so I could put them to rest. Something like that.
Ah, now that is interesting. Perhaps you are not so normal as you say you are. When a soul is brought into Barovia, they very rarely leave. I think you will find what you are looking
I mean, that's the hope.
for. And once you find their souls, what then?
Well, really, I just hope that I can help them find peace and let them pass on.
Peace.
I
Peace is
wasn't
all
there
I
when they
desire.
died.
I'm sorry to hear that. We should all be with our loved ones. And peace is all anyone can ask for. Val, you're being dragged through the castle. You've gone down a staircase and through what looks like an office until you reach a very disturbing room. Dark stains cover the floor of the area, large oak tables scarred and beaten lay scattered like toys about the room, their wood crushed and splintered. Replacing them are furnishings made entirely of human bones. The walls and the 20-foot high vaulted ceiling are a sickly yellow color, not because of faded or time worn plaster, but because they are adorned with bones and skulls arranged in a morbidly decorative fashion, giving the room a cathedral like quality. Four enormous mounds of bones occupy the corners of this ossuary, and garlands of skulls extend from these mounds to a chandelier of bones that hang from the ceilings above a long table constructed of bones in the center of the room. 10 chairs, made of bones, and festooned with decorative skulls, surround the table, resting atop which is an ornate, bowl-shaped vessel made of yet more bones. The doors to the north and south are sheathed in bones, but the steel-banded double doors in the center of the east wall are not. Above these doors is mounted the skull of a dragon. Isn't it lovely? I worked really hard on this.
It's so nice. So nice I almost can't handle it. We should probably go back so I can get a breath from all of this beauty.
It is breathtaking, isn't it? She smiles and giggles at you. Okay, don't want my lord to miss us, but I really wanted to show you.
Oh yeah, it is. It's striking. Real nice.
As you are led back to the audience hall, the big music begins to lower and finally end as you step inside. Strahd steps back from you, Largo, and he bows, thanking you for the dance.
No, thank you. You're quite skilled.
You're too kind. Ludmilla, grouchily, and Anastasia, more than happy enough, both curtsy to their partners. And then Volenta does the same, but much more bouncing going on there as she kind of bobs up and down, like, oh, we've been here the whole time. And she goes, well, I hope you'll come back and enjoy some more of my art. Anastasia grasps your hand one last time, Holland, and goes, I hope we meet again, and gives it a little squeeze. Almost too tight, but not quite. Ludmilla just turns away and walks away.
That was a very enjoyable dance, my lady.
Thank you. And then they all form a line, curtsy, and then leave one by one. Strahd turns to you and he goes, my guests, truly I have enjoyed your visit. I will take you now to the hall, where I will escort you to the entry, where we may part. He takes you through the halls back to the entry where you entered, and there you see Rahadin and 4 trays with parcels on top of them, each differently shaped. He goes, please, some gifts for you.
Okay.
Party favors.
Yep. Val, you're handed one of the parcels, and you're welcome to open it whenever. Largo, you are handed a plant, and he goes, I find that this plant is useful in medicine. I think you will enjoy it.
Interesting.
JR, you are given a parcel as well. You're welcome to open it whenever.
Cool. I'll definitely open it.
JR, as you open it, you see it is a flute with gold scroll work wrapped around it. It's very beautiful, and you can tell it's mastercraft work.
Val was really apprehensive, but whenever he sees JR open the present and sees that, they're like, oh, okay, and opens the present.
Yours is a silk mask that will cover your skin, so that your whole face is covered, basically. And it seems to be very soft. And he goes, I thought maybe you seemed like you were ashamed. I thought you would like this. Please, I hope you enjoy.
Oh, thank you.
And Holland, you are given a parcel.
I'll peek inside.
You unwrap it a bit. You look inside, and inside you see a dagger with an ornate hilt. It's
Thank
very
you
beautiful.
very much.
Sharp. Thank you, my guest. Before you go, he's walking towards the bridge with you. I have a job if you are interested for you.
What type of job?
There is a infamous assassin named Rudolf van Richten with a genocidal hatred for Vestani. He has come to Barovia and that Van Richten seeks to slay me for my role as the Vistani's protector. He may appear to be an old man, but he is dangerous, wily, paranoid individual with a lifetime's experience in death and a vast collection of lies and cover stories at his disposal. If you apprehend him alive and return him to Castle Ravenloft, I promise you each a treasure from my vault. You are free to accept or decline.
He wouldn't pretend to be a fisherman and drown them, would he?
I do not know. That does not seem like his way, though. He is much
Because
more...
J.I. already killed a guy like that.
Ah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
mean the fisherman Bluto? No. No, he has nothing
Oh,
there.
okay.
He was just a... how you say... sheep.
An unfortunate soul.
Yes, that is much kinder. I will leave the decision to you when you find him. Please, my carriage will take you either back to Valaki where you came, or the city of Barovia if you so choose.
What'd you say his name was? Something Van Richten?
Rudolf von Richten, I'll spell it. Tell Rahadin which city you want to go to. And again, I thank you for the pleasure of your company. Fresh blood is so rare nowadays. With that, he turns and walks back into the castle.
And as his words hit my ears, I just shake. Ugh.
So where are we going?
Rahadin is seated in the carriage seat.
I'm going to open my gift and show it to everybody.
Look, a dagger!
Ooh, that's cool. I got this plant.
It is a very nice plant. Maybe
Apparently medicinal purposes.
it may have more uses than we know.
It's pretty nice, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, all around, that wasn't a bad visit.
It wasn't too bad. Except for the threatening to be eaten.
What? Nah, that couldn't happen. I don't know why y'all guys are so scared.
That was the worst time of my life, and this has all been, so that says so much.
I agree with Val.
She showed me a room full of terrible things. It was awful, and y'all were all dancing, and I don't like dancing, and I was dancing, and then the room, and more dancing, and oh god.
Actually, the dancing part wasn't too bad.
And there was definitely food.
Y'all
reminds
We
me.
even got
And good food at that.
Why would you
That-
eat it?
Why wouldn't
To
we?
be polite?
What if it was made of, I mean, who knows what, or seasoned, like putting people stuff and things?
People stuff, what do you mean?
I mean, they're terrible, and the bones and the chairs, and they use parts. Oh gosh, it could have been anything.
I get a feeling, if he would have wanted to kill us, he wouldn't have poisoned us. He would have just killed us.
Well, it doesn't have to
I
kill
do
you, but it's
agree.
still disgusting. And Val's gonna like lean over and look at Largo's stomach and be like, "What if there's someone inside you? What if you ate someone and someone?"
I don't think I did. The food and drink seemed all pretty normal.
It didn't seem to taste like something else.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience in eating people, but it just was too much for me.
Oh, and guys, Sasha, I gotta whisper. Sasha snuck me a letter.
A ladder.
Huh? Huh?
Say.
It said that not everyone is an enemy.
I mean, we know that now.
No, I think she meant like she's friendly, an ally.
Or is this some kind of mind game? I mean, seriously, I saw chairs made of people.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, Val. I saw nothing like that.
Yeah, you were dancing, which I mean, not
We were
great
supposed
fun,
to be
but
dancing.
oh,
It
it's
was
so
a
awkward.
dance.
Yeah,
It awkward. I had to dance with the count himself.
yeah, I know, and like the touching and the closeness, not a good time.
I tell you
Very,
what,
I mean,
though, for
oh,
our size difference, he was pretty smooth. It's usually pretty awkward dancing with a big, and he was very accommodating.
It was interesting dancing with the countesses.
Oh, was it? Because the way Val's talking, it sounds like it was horrific.
My dance was very calm. Though she did like to ask too many questions for my like.
Largo just kind of nods, and then he looks over at JR.
I didn't say a thing. Almost the entire dance. I can't believe y'all even said anything.
You were just enthralled by the dance, huh?
Oh, I was getting the vibe that she didn't want to. She wasn't much of a speaker.
Oh.
I tried to bring up some conversations. She didn't want it.
How about next time we come for a dance, we switch partners?
Well, I mean, it seemed like it was ladies' choice.
That's true. Maybe this next time we try to go to our own partners.
maybe next time we just don't go and dance and chairs and awful.
Well, I would love to not come back, but I have a strange feeling that we may have to.
Well, I want to head out to Lucky.
Out of game, is that where we just came from?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I'll go ahead and start heading towards the carriage.
I'll follow you.
Where will we be heading? Rahadin curiously asks.
Valaki, I believe.
Yeah,
As you wish. Your clothes are inside the carriage. They have had them cleaned and pressed for you.
I stop at the door of the carriage and I turn around. Now, Val, just so you know, there are seats in this carriage. Do not be alarmed.
Are they made of bones?
Yeah, Val's gonna like squinty eye at you so hard, like the most shade you've ever encountered.
Oh, so like a tree to give off some shade.
I see some time apart didn't make you any more pleasant to be around, Largo, and Val will get in the carriage and just huffily sit.
And then you realize you sat on your clothes and you have to like do that little thing where you awkwardly get up, move it, and then sit again.
I will get in the carriage.
As you all get in the carriage, you all grab your bundles of clothes. You each notice a small garment is missing: a sock, a belt, a glove, but never more than one. And then the carriage takes off, and you're headed back to Valaki, and that's where we'll stop for tonight. Damn, we didn't roll a single dice tonight.